This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. This is an important video because Kanye West has tweeted out about how he also wants to build a giant city in the middle of the Middle East. Now, this is becoming a new theme. I don't know if you've noticed the pattern, but that's what I'm here to show you. There's a pattern here with destruction of cities, which you see all across America right now, right? We see liberals deliberately destroying cities. We see people, like I'll show you eventually in this video, Donald Trump talking about rebuilding cities into freedom cities. And we saw what occurred in Lahaina. The whole infrastructure of the world, the earth, I should say, is going to be taken down to bring in a new infrastructure, which will be smart city governance. Now, all the people responsible for pulling the strings and manipulating people, not just into the left, right, but really into this simulated reality, are very well aware of how we respond and what we're talking about. Okay? So they obviously know, just like with the magic potion, that a lot of us are not going to be very easily seduced into these smart cities. So they're trying to use the left and the right as a different way of tricking people into smart city governance, which is really just global governance. That's the structure here, okay? So Kanye West, who again, some of these celebrities are playing the role of Christian, conservative, Trump supporters who are being used as well because of Trump's popularity, which again is being done by design to herd the masses, okay? Like we see on TV every single day, all of these things that they're doing, they know exactly psychologically what it's doing to the support for Donald Trump. It's increasing his support, having the courts go against Trump, having Trump get arrested, and then showing us stories of how Joe Biden can get away with it. It's building support for Trump. They know exactly what they're doing psychologically. This is a herding mechanism where you're looking at Trump as being someone who's under attack, so he must be telling the truth because this government's so corrupt. They are 1,000 steps ahead of us. It's their game. That's why you can't fall for this stuff that makes the news. It's all psychologically done by design. And one of the things they have to do, again, with Mr. Operation Warp Speed, which conservatives conveniently just drop and forget about. Same thing with that guy's island and the list that's going to come out. They could just very conveniently forget about that and let him get away with this stuff. But one of the things they have to do, just like the potion, is they have to figure out psychological ways to herd people into this. So instead of Trump talking about, hey, we need to fix these cities, he's talked about building new cities. Kanye West is now talking about building a new city. And of course, we all know, I've covered it, and I'll show you a clip again, of the line in Saudi Arabia, these utopian cities that they're trying to build where they're telling you that it's going to be economically friendly, it's going to be convenient, nobody's going to be in poverty. It's called Drome that Kanye West is considering building here. And the other one's called Neom. So they both are very similar in name, and it's very convenient that the line is also is in Saudi Arabia, and this that he wants to build is in the Middle East. So Kanye West tweeted out that he's aiming to build a 100,000 acre city. And again, nobody's suspicious. This tweet read from Yeezy, Phase 1, $100,000 acre V1 city, piloting in Middle East, recruiting for project managers, engineers, architects, contractors, and builders. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if, obviously, I don't feel like this is probably going to get rolled in here. It could potentially. They could have cities that play into your political ideologies. And of course, celebrities will be used to market these cities. Trump cities, just like Trump Towers, a lot of already predictive programming in place, or a lot of conditioned programming in place with Donald Trump and his casinos and his real estate, that he has, and his golf courses. So there's a lot of that already in place where they could say, well, Trump's got a resort out in the middle of the Middle East, or wherever they decide to put it. It's the new Arkansas. We're turning Arkansas into Trumpsaw. And there's a huge city there, and it's got all Trump's casinos and his golf courses and all the Republic. Oh, we'll go there. Because remember, these people are still attached to their technology. Okay, and that's what they have to make sure you're still attached to your technology. You don't hear the conservatives talking about removing technology, how technology is enabling this beast system, how technology is keeping everybody hive-minded. Obviously, they know that it is, and they're completely a part of it because the alt-right media is allowed to speak freely and allowed to do all this stuff because it's a herding mechanism. Anyone that doesn't see it, I pray that you do see it soon enough because you're in a simulated reality. It doesn't make the news unless they wanted to. All this stuff with Trump, they would have eliminated him if he was some type of rebel against the establishment. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's by design. So to bring in smart city governance, okay, this is right off the World Economic Forum. This is what they've been talking about. Everybody knows the World Economic Forum talks about the Great Reset, talks about clause, but they never talk about the end game here with the smart city governance. They've mentioned smart cities, obviously with Lahaina. Right when that happened, I started talking immediately about the blueprints for that. Obviously, a lot of people picked up on it, and they've talked about it. Obviously, since then, that channel, that other YouTuber who talked about it, me, was censored and removed because that's what ends up happening to me. But if I can get your brain thinking and get you pulled out of this matrix, and other people could take that narrative and start psychologically thinking, then that's makes it worthwhile for me to continue doing this. Okay, so if he's going to be doing this, just think of the notion if Kanye West is going to be building city, what are you doing? Well, he's a conservative, right? That's what we're told now. He's suddenly a conservative, even though he was married to Armenian witches and bred with them, had children with them. Okay, this is all design. A lot of people don't even believe it's the real Kanye West. We've all seen the clone pictures and stuff. It doesn't even look like the same person. But they're going to use people like this, just like they did with the magic potion. I've talked about this for years, the dangers of social media and influencers. We saw, right, if you don't know about me, I've always covered the celebrities, the Tavistock Institute, and mind control, okay? I have warned about the dangers of the celebrities. Who are we holding responsible for a lot of these people getting potion over the last couple of years? Celebrities. Every celebrity was tweeting about it, telling you to do it, showing pictures of themselves doing it. It's engineering. This is intel agencies at their finest, and their agents are doing the influencing on the masses. They're sticking them out there, the Kim Kardashians, the Kanye West, etc. They need people to be conservative as well to keep hive mind. Now, they obviously make it seem like the conservatives are very few. It's just a few of them. And the ones who happen to break away and become conservative are very big names, right? Kanye West is a very big name, very popular, right? Very popular amongst the black community. So this is all done by design. It's a herding mechanism. So him talking about building his city. And then, of course, don't forget Donald Trump talking about freedom cities. Remember I covered this? Donald Trump and the freedom cities. You don't hear any of the conservatives, again, clap back and say, wait, a freedom city? Why don't we just stop the crime in the current cities? Because they have to be destroyed for new infrastructure. So we need new cities for global governance, okay? And Trump is obviously a part of it, so he's going to help bring in new cities. Here he is talking about freedom cities, not smart cities. They're freedom cities. Give me a break.
Past generations of Americans pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible. They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the land mass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 0.5%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families in our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly, I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police. They will do the job the way they have to. It is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. I will dramatically increase living standards and build a future that brings our country together through excitement, opportunity, and success. Thank you very much.
Okay, so on top of all these things, 100,000 acres that Kanye West is talking about is very, very large. The line, which I'm about to show you, if you don't remember, they're already building this. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye doesn't go through with something like this, if he endorses the line or celebrities start endorsing the line. That's how this will work. The celebrities will be the ones who are luring the masses into where they want to move them. They'll show that, oh, Kim Kardashian's moved in here. Oh, I'm sure she has. Yeah, so they'll show Kim Kardashian there. They'll show Katy Perry there. Right? Then they'll take some conservatives and show them in their conservative cities. This is legitimately happening. People out there are like, you're crazy. You're going way too far ahead of this. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm showing you this stuff and telling you this stuff. There's a pattern here. All of a sudden, all these people, Trump, Kanye, these billionaires in the Middle East, they're all talking about building new cities. Amazon and their Amazon Smart City. This is what the future is. They're enslavement prisons. They're prison cities where you think that it's going to be presented to you as a utopia. Oh, there's no crime anymore, right? Oh, they're not, everything, the crime has gone down. There's all stuff that they're causing. They're causing the crime to go up. They're allowing criminals to walk the streets. They're arming criminals. They're not arresting criminals. So they can destroy the infrastructure and bring these in. This will be a surveillance state. That's ultimately what it's all about. A surveillance state. People are so in love with their technology, they don't realize anymore what a surveillance state is. When you used to hear about this stuff in the 1990s, about surveillance state, movies like Enemy of the State came out, people go, oh my gosh, that's frightening. But people fell in love with their devices and their tech. They've fallen in love with, I've mentioned so many times about these true crime shows. They're addictive type shows. People love to watch this stuff. And then who's always the hero in the true crime show? Oh, the technology. Someone else's camera caught a license plate. Luckily, there was CCTV, and more people demanding CCTV. Eventually, everyone's so desensitized, they're going to no longer, where people once said, how can a neighbor be allowed to have a camera that's shining on my property? That's an invasion of my rights. That's how people used to perceive things. Now it's everybody should have it so we can live in a safer society. They've been desensitized. So we're moving towards that with these cities. Now, these are smart cities. That's what they are. They're going to have different names, okay? The libs might call theirs smart cities. You know that they understand how the conservative mindset works, so they'll have freedom cities, right? Patriot cities, these types of things. But all be one and the same. So for those of you who may be new, who may have stumbled upon my channel, they're already building this in Saudi Arabia. It's a giant prison called The Line. This, and I talked about this years ago. People said, oh, it's just an idea. You're crazy. They're not really going through with it. They're in the process. It's already being built. Okay, they're not building it so they can make a YouTube video. They're not putting billions of dollars, trillions probably at the end of the day, into this so that they could just show you footage of them beginning the process, okay? This is your tax money at work, by the way. They talk about it going to Ukraine, all these other places. Yeah, you're also building this, okay? All the citizens who are paying taxes around the world are building this. So here's a look at The Line if you don't recall.
What is Neom? This is Neom, or here, to be more precise, in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But Neom is more than a place. It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation, an entirely new model for sustainable living. The vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojana, a year-round mountain destination. And just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or if skiing's not your thing, there's always Sindala, one of Neom's many beautiful islands, perfect for some R&R. And the Line, a 500-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer-long city in the shape of, well, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. But best of all, the entire region will offer unparalleled access to nature and will be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need Neom?
That's a good question.
The world needs Neom because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
Made to change.
Neom represents a global opportunity for one, changing how the world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. Two, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest standards of livability. Sounds nice, right? And three, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will Neom achieve these aims, you may ask? Within Neom are 14 sectors, spearheaded by the world's best talent. Each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine Neom as a prototype for a better future, a future for all. One being built to last. Sound good? Great. So when the world asks, what is Neom? You'll know to answer that Neom's a place that'll change the way we live on this planet. Simple, really.
So that's a prison. That's what this is. This is a prison city, right? You can't enslave everybody. There's not enough cells. So then you start turning your home into cells. Then they start building city cells. City cells where you don't pay rent. All these things because they're pushing us into poverty. They're just making people unhinged about working. They're making people lazy. This is all done by design to get you into these prison cities where they say you're free. And once you're in, you ain't getting out. Once you wake up inside these prison cities, it's too late. Once you wake up in there and you're like, you know what? I miss the old way. I miss being free and be able to walk down the street. Oh, you can't do that anymore. The climate's going to keep you in here, right? You have a little recess. Everything's green. Everything's fun. Everything's nice. Everything's environmental friendly. It's a dystopian nightmare. It's hell on earth. And the conservatives will be hurting just as well. Because look, we have people who are awake, then we have people who are trapped in the conservative hive mind. We have liberals who are completely unawake, unaware, narcissistic, and refuse. A lot of conservatives are also narcissistic and refuse to wake up because they're putting their hope in Donald Trump. I get argued about it day and night. I talked about it back when the thing occurred in 2016 with the election, with the leaks and the pizza. I said it then, watch. Nothing will happen. There'll be no swamp drain. They're continuing to go along with it because the psychological aspect of this, of victimizing him in public, the way they're doing it, shaming him, making him go through the supposed ringer when it's not. All the people tied into it getting arrested, all the Januaries, all getting arrested. This is all done by design. It's creating this illusion that this man is so anti-deep state that he's the only answer and he will stop it from happening. And now they're going to probably give us an illusion here where it seems like we're getting away from it and things go back. I wouldn't be surprised if they restore people's freedoms temporarily on the internet so that they believe, oh, Trump has done this to make him even a bigger, make it more tempting to go into the red states. Oh, there's free speech in these states online, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to lure a lot of people. Of course, again, the potion will be one of the big ones. The red states will not have it mandated. You won't have it in the red states, and the blue ones will. Okay, just like the Planned Parenthood stuff. Blue states, yes. Red states, no. So the same will be said. These freedom cities will be modern cities in red states. And in the blue states, they'll be called smart cities. It'll be all the same. It's the same thing I've always talked about. It's called the illusion of freedom, right? Do you feel free when you're at the grocery store and you're choosing between organic apples and non-organic? You feel like you're making a choice. You're like, you know what, 20 cents more, I'm going to go organic. It's the same thing. It's not, do you know it's organic? Of course you don't know it's organic. Why? Because they put a sticker on it? It's the same thing. It's just the illusion that you're making a choice. And that's what the red and blue is. It's the illusion of choice. You're being herded deliberately one way or the other. Okay? Because they know that not everybody's going to go to these blue states and put up with it, but they're making us so, at war with one another. They're making one side so extreme and the other side so extreme, right? The same way we look at these insane people with blue hair and the stuff that they're pushing and calling themselves, identifying as this and that, they look at the conservatives the same exact way on the extreme side. That's done by design. It's making you not want to live amongst each other. But ultimately, when you have, that's them over there in the blue states with their smart city. We have freedom city. We have patriot city. I guarantee these are the terms you're going to hear. Patriot city, right? American city. I mean, you'll hear all red, white, and blue. They'll all have names. Trump talked about 10 of them, by the way. 10 of them. Now, Kanye West thing, which is what this video is about, over in the Middle East, is obviously very, it resembles the line. And this is just something he tweeted out. So obviously, nobody could expect him to follow through. He can't afford to build a 100,000-acre city. But it's the notion of this. The notion is what you have to watch with the mind control. Him even seed planting. He's seed planting. All we're hearing about is new cities, cities. The current cities are a nightmare. Nobody wants to go to cities. People are fleeing cities. Think subconsciously how much they're planting this in our heads. Every time you hear a red versus blue state debate, the blue cities are going under. Of course they're going under by design. What do you think? These guys are so tone deaf that they can't clean their cities up? Oh, you don't think the stories are deliberate? The narrative out there about how San Francisco was cleaned up for APEC or whatever, OPEC, for all these rich people to show up and then they made it dirty again. They're doing this. They're gaslighting you into where they want to gaslight you. It's very, very clear. So I think a lot of these celebrities, just like Trump, are going to be used in position to manipulate you and tell you that it's not what it claims to be. They're like, well, we still need technology, right? Just like the climate, those two things. You hear the conservatives, they're like, they're a climate cult. But they're still talking about the notion of climate change like it's real. And not talking about geoengineering. They're not talking about chemtrails. They're not talking about HARP. They're not talking about any of the stuff that they're doing to manipulate the weather. They don't talk about Operation Popeye. None of it. They just go, well, they're a little obsessive. Climate change might be real, but they're too into it. They're too over the top. So they're going to eventually herd the conservatives with that. No doubt about it, right? Same exact thing here with technology. Oh, well, they're too into the tech with the smart cities and the green energy. We'll still have gas-powered cars, but you'll still be in smart cities. Everything will still be run through tech. Really what should be happening is the conservative movement should be moving away from technology and realizing that not only is it enslaving you, it's mentally causing all these mental problems that people are having, specifically teenagers and children. They take pictures of themselves. They don't even know. You go look at some of these things and you see kids are just taking photos of themselves. You look at articles and stuff and you're just like, what are these? They don't even realize how manufactured they are. They don't know why they're taking selfies. They're taking a selfie every day, putting up, making the same, face. You see all these girls doing the same face. It's all manufactured behavior, right? If you break away from, and they're like, oh, they're depressed. They don't like how they look. They're staring at their picture day and night. Nobody's like themselves if they stare at themselves in the mirror 24/7. You're not supposed to be staring at yourself in the mirror 24/7. So you know what I mean? They're creating this, and technology is obviously causing this. So if the conservative movement was like, hey, Trump, we're going to get us all offline. We're going to go live the old school way. We're going to, all barter. We're all going to have trades. They're not going to ever do that. They're going to just give you this illusion that you think that it's separate from the unhinged insanity of the liberal movement. But it's all still controlled. So cities, you have to keep your eye on these cities. What they're going to be called, who's going to sponsor, who's going to herd you into them. Kanye West is one of these figures that everybody falls for. He does all of this stuff that would show you that he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Even I've covered over the years, he has songs, Wolves, and he shows you he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I must have done 50 videos on this guy. Him walking on water, his breaking down his church thing. I'll put that up on the website, some of those videos on uprisingrevival.com. If you haven't joined the website, I highly recommend you do for $2.99 a month. It is troll-free, ad-free, uncensored content, and the forum itself is active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with real news and real information. And of course, you could share stuff with me that you want me to cover, etc. But the church stuff he's done with Marilyn Manson, I've broken all those things, and I showed you the symbolism in it, showing you revealing stuff from the book of Revelation. I mean, it's all in front of us with these wolves in sheep's clothing. Kanye West is clearly one of them. Okay? He gives you truth. He mentions stuff about the bagels and the stuff going on over there. Of course he does. How else do you expect to get herded if they aren't going to give you some truth? If they're out there saying that, oh, you're anti this and those are the wonderful people, the chosen people, then people will be like, Kanye West is a shill and a puppet. Nobody can believe he's actually saying it. They're like, I can't believe he's actually saying it. They're letting him say it to herd you. They can't herd a majority of people unless somebody's spitting some type of truth. Okay, this is how intel operations work. They can't get you on board by saying everyone's a conspiracy theorist. Then we'd all just be giant, massive liberals, right? So you got to wake up to it. They're deceiving people with these cities. Be aware. Share this. Let people know. Hope to see more of you over on the website, Uprising Revival. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet to my other channel, Call for Vengeance, link below. I'm already uploading over there, so you're missing out on content, and a lot of new content's coming there as well. I'll be uploading between channels. I'm not even just dead set on uploading on one versus the other. I'm going to be all over the place. So make sure you're subbed to all the channels linked below. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all well. God bless you as always and your families.